Greetings, team. So it is a monumentous day. It is the 5th year I have had my BX23S tractor. We're about 563 hours on it. And why I say it's a monumentous day is because this is the first month I have not had a payment. I'm sure you're wondering what in those 5 years went right and what in those 5 years went wrong. So let's go ahead and talk about what went wrong. The first thing that went wrong, this darn thing. This rattled open all the time, and I really didn't trust it to hold my manual. The new one, I believe, is a snap, so this is really a non-issue anymore. Staying with the seat, the next thing that I'm not the biggest fan of, you tend to scratch the side of the cup holder here when you rotate the seat around. And why that is because when you rotate it to use the backhoe, you pull that little lever and slide it on up, pulling it forward, and then there. That's about how close you get when you rotate it. If you're in a hurry, I absolutely could see how you'd whack that pretty hard. I've seen a few at auction severely gouged along the side, so to my knowledge, they did not fix that in the new designs. These little clips, they don't hold very well. I ended up just having to tighten these bolts down. They kind of hold, but as you use it, it vibrates loose. The other thing that was a little frustrating, one of these actually vibrated off on me. I did another video about this a few years ago. It happened pretty early on. After I zip tied it, it wasn't a problem. The backhoe, she did pretty good. The only maintenance problem I had for the backhoe was one of the connecting lines, it was that bottom red one there, actually broke at the crimp, and I had to replace it. Not bad, because the connecting point for it was the block somewhere, so it wasn't that hard. This thing gets parked in some weird spots. Never had any mice make nests in here or eat up my hydraulic hoses. Didn't have any brakes along the main arm for this one. I obviously kept these greased, and no real wear on this bad boy. I'm pretty happy, and I use this backhoe a lot. I take it on and off quite frequently. Never had this new design here lock up on me for the removal. The backhoe, pretty nice. The only thing I don't like about the backhoe, the stickers they had to show you the operation, there was one on this side, one on this side. Both of those got ripped off throughout the years of power washing it clean. Only the center sticker stayed in place. It also discolored pretty quickly. Mower deck did pretty good. 5 years, mowing, couple acres, multiple times a month throughout the summer. No problems. Haven't had to replace the belt. I did lose the little plastic piece right here, so I just slapped an acorn nut on there. I did lose one of these caster wheels. This bolt loosened on me, and the whole thing got lost, and I never found it again. So, had to buy one of those. Not that big of a deal. I did have the issue onto the bucket. Sorry, moving on to the front bucket here. I do detach the bucket every now and again when I'm going to be doing some more serious mowing, or if I'm only going to mow with this and not my other rider. So the on and off with this, it still leaks. I did tighten the bottom connectors, and I did tighten these top ones. It was leaking really bad before I did that. After I did that, it wasn't leaking as bad, but it still kind of leaks a little bit, as you can see, but it's not enough for concern, and I've just sort of lived with it. And while we're looking kind of in this general area, the battery is in here. You just unscrew that, and this whole thing slides out. There's the battery. Master Fuse. That is the same battery that this shipped with. Haven't even had to charge it. I have checked it. It has a little indicator window on it, and it still says okay 5 years in. So I'm certain I'm nearing having to replace it, but I haven't had to for 5 years, so that was a nice expense I didn't have to buy. Nothing wrong on the interior cage here. I will pop the hood here in a second, and we'll look at that. But talking about the bucket, this bucket has put in quite a few driveways along the property. I should really come through and knock off these burrs now. I have not done anything to the bucket edge since I bought it, and it's actually not that bad. The paint on the inside coming off. It's a nice thick paint. Nothing I'm going to do about that. It is a bucket after all. There is a bump here. There's a little bump here that's sort of formed, but still flush on the back end. No real issues there. Talked about that. Tires, still looking pretty good. No issues there. You can kind of see them. Still holding pretty good. Mostly driving on gravel. Not mostly. Mostly driving on dirt. Oftentimes gravel. Rarely took this out on pavement or on the road. No issues with this. I drive a lot of the times in the brush. You can kind of see a little bit of wearing, a little bit of scratching along the rod on both sides here. I take that back. I did break a gasket. This has to be replaced now. Son of a gun. Oh, all right. So that's another thing I'm going to have to, or I had to buy in the 5-year period. All right, we're going to have to fire this thing back up so I can put that back on. So I can open the hood and show you guys inside of there. 500, oh, 69, so closer to 570. Leave it up and turn and drop. While we're here, well, we got it on. Let's go ahead and show you the bucket, or the rear backhoe. You look at that, no real slop. We'll go ahead and do that little test with the push down. There we go, you ready? Hey, can lift the whole thing up, no problem, no real wiggle. Go ahead and slide it back and forth. So, still pretty tight, still pretty solid. And like I said, I've dug out hundreds of stumps, I gotta say, by now. And that backhoe is still as tight as I just showed it to you there. Okay, now we'll go ahead and open the hood. Now to open the hood, you don't have to open that first, but I just like to. You just pull this back. Oftentimes I have to put weight on the hood and then pull it, and then it just slides right open. Okay, there we go. Not too bad. Front headlights still work. I haven't had to do anything with that. The only thing I've had to do getting in here was changing the oil, which is, there's the inlet, and I've changed the fuel filter here. There's one here and one under the belly. That one's a pain to get to, but you can do it. Haven't had to replace anything else in the 5 years, as hopefully you can tell. Still starts up pretty good. I have, for some reason, had to add coolant because it's often below the min line at the end of the summer, even though I'm not doing anything. Clearing this out, it's due for cleaning. Not that hard, just something you got to do every now and again. I'll leave that open so I remember to do that. I'd say total had to pay, I'd say is only, over the 5 years, was probably under $1,000 for all that stuff. Not that bad. Very happy with it. Very lovely machine. If you're on the fence about getting one of these, I guess just know that you can own it for 5 years with minimal work done to it. I'd say just go ahead and pull the trigger. Until next time, I am the Ill-Informed Human. Goodbye.